Hello, ladies with imbalances with hormones. I want to address some concerns that people are having with hormonal imbalances as it relates to premenopausal symptoms. I know for myself, when I started experiencing those symptoms, I didn't have a clue that I was even premenopausal. I actually thought I was way too young for it, and it can happen at any age. What I found out after the fact, as I was going through it, was that the years of stress that I was going through with some things going on in my life really impacted my hormones in such an intense way that made it more challenging in those premenopausal years. And so I really had to learn to work with my own body. I am an energy medicine practitioner. I am a clinical practitioner. I see clients in my home. I also teach Eden's method to people all over the place. And so I want to show you some quick tips and also make you aware of some things. Number one, there is a great book from Donna Eden that you can get that is solely dedicated towards women, hormonal changes, no matter what age. So if you've got teenage girls, you're going to want to check it out. Just like if you are somebody that's premenopausal, you'll want to check that out. Now, I'll tell you also that when I was going through these premenopausal changes, I didn't know it was happening because a lot of what affected me initially was my emotional well-being and how I was able to cope and handle stress. At that time, though, most of my friends are younger than me, so I didn't want anyone to know what was going on with me. And I also couldn't discern that it was hormonal imbalances versus the stressors in my life. So first and foremost, we have this energy system that is here to protect us. It is a meridian system called triple warmer. So we have this beautiful meridian channel that moves through us all the time. It provides energy to our organs. It provides energy to our muscles, to our bones. And it's one of the energy systems that right now, while we are on this quarantine, stay at home, whatever the levels of orders that you're in or whatever level of sickness that you're in, we're all going to go through we're all going to go through it. It is what it is. And so right now, everybody's stress levels are really, really heightened. So it's so important to get outside in the grass and get your feet in the grass. If you can do this 20 to 30 minutes a day, it's going to help you ground. It's going to help your hormonal imbalances kind of come back into alignment. So don't underestimate the simple, inexpensive things that we did as children. I know watching my daughter, when I see her, she's 12, when I see her kind of losing her cool or getting overwhelmed by schoolwork that we're doing online, it's like one of the first things we say now that it's nice out is go outside and get your feet in the grass. The summer months, she is way more balanced because she can just be at the pool, she can be in the grass, and it's like it makes such a tremendous difference. So get in the grass and ground. That's my first thing I'm going to say to you. The second thing is, one of my favorite things is doing what we called the triple axis or the rooster comb hold. We're actually working with points on the head. And I went to bed every single night during this time in my life with my hands on my head. We've got a couple points right here that connect to the liver meridian. Why this is important is the liver is processing all those toxins and it's processing all of your hormones. So if you are somebody that has hormones out of balance due most likely to stress or maybe where you're at in your life, you want to help the liver meridian, which ultimately helps the liver. You want to help balance it. Now the next point we're going to talk about is sitting right at the top of the head. It's that soft spot that we all had as a baby, right? And this is an access point to the pineal gland. The pineal gland sits in the middle of the brain. It's this tiny, tiny little gland. I can't remember the size, if it was a pea or whatever it was. Doesn't really matter. It's small. But what it does is it connects to the heart neurovasculars. It also helps with melatonin. It balances melatonin. So probably some of you aren't sleeping so good. I know when I was going through it, it was like on the hour I was being woken up in the middle of the night, and I really had to calm my triple warmer down and also balance my hormones as the night progressed. So that's the second point. It's going to be right on top of your head. The third point, if you come back and you follow my head, you're going to just move your hand where it curves, and then when it drops off, right about here, right at that dip, you're connecting to the pituitary gland. Why is that one important? Well, the pituitary gland governs hormones like progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, hormones that we all need and have in our body. So when we touch these various points, what we're doing is we're sending signals and energy to those glands at the center of your head. And it's just brilliant, actually. The last point we're going to talk about is the point that runs, if you keep following your hand back, it runs directly opposite your eyes, okay? Right at the center. This is the access point to the hypothalamus. So the hypothalamus, look at it as it's like the commander-in-chief of your hormones. And so it's the one that decides, like if you had a ship and you had a captain on the ship, he's making all the decisions as to where people are going to serve, where they need to travel. So he is in charge of everything. So we want to feed him good energy so he has the stamina to do those long night hours and send messages to the pituitary, remember where it was, on the back end here, where it dips, as well as the pineal gland. We want him to have vital energy coming to him so that he can send the messages to the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, and even those liver neurovasculars that it's like, okay, we need to balance these hormones. So he's really, really important. And I'm calling him a he. It's not really a he. I mean, in a way, maybe it's a she, who knows. But anyways, so how are we going to work with these points? So you're thinking, okay, well, these glands are in the middle of the head. And quite honestly, when I first learned about this, I didn't quite get it. We teach all about hormones in the certification program of Eden Method. So you don't get to that until you get to class 6. I kind of feel like you need it in class 1, but it is what it is. So anyways, this is what you're going to do to help bring balance to those hormones. You're going to take the pad of your hand, right at the bottom of your hand, you're going to place it right at the hairline. You're going to let your hand fall and just land on your head. So now we are connecting to the liver neurovascular points as well as the pineal access point. We're going to take our other hand and we're going to make sure that our fingertips connect, and we're going to lay it here. Now, you want to hold this for several minutes and just feel it. How does this feel? Now, what you're looking for is you might notice these points starting to heat up. You might notice some pulsing. Anything's fair game. Your body is your body. You are now your human science project, because right now you can't get to doctors and dentists and eye doctors, so you've got to work with your energy to figure it out. So see how this feels. Now, during the time of my need, I would go to bed, I'd prop my pillows up, I'd get my hands in this position so that while I was dozing off to sleep, because it was relaxing, I also was helping these 4 very important points get energy to them so that the pineal, the pituitary, and the hypothalamus glands at the center of my brain were getting fed, and they could then do their job to balance. All right? So really, really important there. All right, what else do I want to say about that? You may not like holding all 4 points. Well, here's another way you can do it. You can hold right at the hairline. You can bring 3 fingers, is what I usually do, because it creates like a neutral ground. Won't get into that. But place it on top of the head. See how that feels. It might feel good. It might not feel good. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Move on. Bring your hand from the pineal down to the pituitary. Again, it's where the head dips, and you're going to hold that. Notice how that feels. These actually feel good to me, and I'm feeling pretty balanced hormonally, but it all feels good to me. So feel into that. The next thing is you can just hold the hypothalamus point, which is at the back of the head. So feel into that. See how that feels. So they're wonderful. So I highly encourage you to hold those points. Now, I mentioned triple warmer. Triple warmer is most active from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. How many of you are calming down from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. 1, 2, you had a number? Most people that I know tend to rev up. So triple warmer is most active there. So in some ways it's not surprising, because if you're a mom with a career and you've got kids, or maybe you're single and you've got a really active full life and you're trying to stay connected with everyone online through Zoom, we tend to want to fit it all in at the end of the day. It's sort of counterintuitive to what your energy system needs. So the energy's revving up to get one more thing done, right? When really, during that time period, we need to do things like read, meditate, calming activities, maybe take a bath, take a shower, things that are going to calm triple warmer down. So triple warmer is a meridian system, right? And so how it typically goes is it goes ring finger, it goes up the arm, around the ear, and it finishes at the temple. So let's do that again. So it goes up the ring finger, up the shoulder, around, and it finishes at the temple. That may not feel good to you, so don't do it. Most often, triple warmer, when it's under stress, which I think most people I've talked to are living some level of stress, when it's under stress, it can become overcharged, overactive. It's looking at your border control. It's looking at everything in your life, and it's saying, what else do I need to protect this body, this human being from? Because it's like your subconscious, your triple warmer, it doesn't know that something doesn't feel good. All it cares about, your subconscious, this triple warmer energy, two different words, but I kind of relate them the same, is all it cares about is keeping you safe and alive. And if that means you need to feel anxiety, or you need to have hormonal imbalances, or you need to have really intense emotions, that's one of the things it's going to do to serve and protect you. It may not feel good, and triple warmer doesn't care how it feels, because all it cares about is that you are alive on this planet. However, who really wants to have intense emotions, and who really wants to feel stressed out? Who really wants to feel overwhelmed? I know I don't. In fact, right now, during the most intense time in our lives right now, where we are staying at home, is probably one of the calmest times I've experienced, and it's quite joyous. And part of that is I'm empathic. I pick up other people's energy. Like before we had the quarantine, I could feel the anxiety and the grief. It was so intense. And then once we were more quarantined, I was like, wow, this feels good, because I wasn't out in the stores or in public picking up everybody else's energy and also processing my own. So be aware of that. So right now I'm pretty calm. I've got my family that I'm living with, my 17-year-old, my 12-year-old. I'm watching their creativity. So there's some blessings in this. But then I also have some friends that are very, very sick, and I've got friends working in the front lines in the hospital. So I definitely am monitoring and discerning how I'm doing emotionally as I'm taking in all that information. So I digressed. I lost my thought. It does happen. I got a little fire. So where was I? Triple warmer. Okay. So triple warmer, rather than feeding him energy, we're going to calm him down. So what we're going to do is I'm going to see if I can do this. Take my glasses off. So we're going to come right here to our temples. And when you're little, I like to do this with my daughter. When she gets in bed, I love to smooth around her head. And really, without knowing it, as moms, when we're putting our kids to bed, we are comforting them, but we are also calming things down for triple warmer. So what you're going to do, I'm going to do one hand at a time. We're going to start at the temple. I'm going to use a full hand, and I'm going to just go ahead through my hair, and we're going to come around the ears. I'm going to come all the way off of triple warmer, off the ring finger. And we got to do both sides. We are bilateral. We have a right and a left meridian. So again, we're going to come around. We're going to smooth around the ears, down the shoulder, and off the ring finger. Notice how that feels. You might like it. The other thing you can do is we've got this triple warmer endpoint right here, and we have the endpoints here. So we can put our hands on our temple, and we can hold both the finger that ring finger at its endpoint, as well as put your hand on your temple. This can be calming because it's like I kind of look at it like a little bit of a roto-rooter where you're sending energy, you're connecting to the energy of both sides, and you're filling up or moving the energy within the whole channel. So we're holding endpoints right now. Now, I would normally hold this longer. I'm getting quieter and calmer, so my fire is calming down. And let's come to the other side. So we're going to find our ring finger. We're going to put our hands on our temple, and I'm just holding my endpoints. You're going to notice how this feels. Why are we doing this? Because we want to calm triple warmer down so that he can support this balancing of our hormones. Another really great thing you can do, so what have we learned so far? We've learned to trace triple warmer backwards on both sides, right? We've learned to hold the endpoints, so I'm holding the endpoint of my ring finger and holding the temple. And we want to do that on both sides. We can place our hand, this is another one I like to do when I'm laying down, is I'm a side sleeper. Now you know a little bit too much about me, but I'm a side sleeper, and so I'll put my hand right on the side of my face, and you want to make a 3-finger notch, which is pulling these 3 fingers together and put it right at the notch, right where my necklace is landing. Now, when I'm sleeping, the 3-finger notch doesn't feel good on my chest. So I start here, and then ultimately I'll just bring my hands and try to get them in a good position where they're covering that notch right here at the end of our throat. Again, you want to do that on both sides. So here, 3-finger notch. I got my pillow. I'm going to lay my hand flat. Take some nice deep breaths. You don't have to be crawling into bed to do these activities. In fact, if you have more time on your hand, which I think everybody does right now, you want to do these whenever possible. Let's do the triple warmer smoothie. So we're just going to come with our hands over our head. We're going to get to our shoulders, take a nice deep breath in. And we're going to finish at the heart. Last but not least, because I really feel strongly that, any woman that is going through premenopausal symptoms, especially right now when the stress levels are even more expanded than norm, needs some insight from her pal. So you're going to find your belly button, and I'm going to actually take you to the adrenal point. So we're going to go out an inch. So I'm going 1 inch from my belly button. So I start with my middle fingers and my belly button. Why the middle fingers? They conduct more energy. All right. It's also connected to circulation sex, which is your heart protector energy. It's the pericardium that protects the heart. And all the fire rhythm is about balancing hormones. Oh, there's so much I could say, but I'm not going to. All right, so we're going to come out an inch and then up an inch, and we're just going to give those a rub. You want to rub these on a regular basis. Why? Because when the ovaries stop producing that estrogen, the adrenals start taking over some of that hormone, some of the hormone manufacturing. So we want to support the adrenals. You can also place your hands over your belly button, that's that inch up. You're also connecting to the third chakra here. Third chakra helps supply energy to those vital organs that we have in that area. So that's important too as well. And then take your other hand and you're going to put them, we have right in the center of our head the oh my God points. So go ahead and balance those. That feels good to me. All right, I think that's a lot. I spoke as fast as I can to get this done, and it's still 20 minutes. So I wish you all the best. My name is Kelly Goetz. I'm an Eden's Energy Medicine clinical practitioner. I'm on faculty, and I'm here to serve you and help guide you during this journey and give you as many tips as I can. I will be creating another video to talk more about liver, which is another key contributor to our hormone balance, as well as kidney and spleen. Until we meet again, I am wishing you infinite love and gratitude. Be well, my friends, and do stay home. Bye-bye. you.